what a week for Mississippi State, man. Everything, football, basketball, baseball, softball, tennis. I have little bits and notes about all of them because all of them had stuff going on this week. I'll start with the sport we're farthest removed from football. We had 2 football players drafted this last weekend, Brendan Thompson and Sadu Traore.
We should have got the picture loaded up of JP with Brendan Thompson.
We should have. I was very
2020.
jealous that, of course, I'm the Chargers fan and JP gets the picture with Brendan Thompson.
Yeah.
But
He was right. He was just standing like right next to my apartment.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm walking back to my apartment from the baseball game, and yeah, he's just there.
Yep. So he got drafted by the Chargers in the 4th round, and I'm a Chargers fan, so I'm very excited for that. To get to see Justin Herbert throwing to him is going to be really, really fun.
Oh, just think about Justin Herbert's arm.
Yep.
Brendan Thompson's speed. My goodness, like we're going to see some deep touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Sadu Traore goes in the 5th round to the Dolphins, which is really cool. He was actually at the draft, I believe. I saw photos of him there with a UK flag, which is really cool. And then we've had several players sign UDFA deals, and then several others who've been invited to rookie mini camps. But Devon Booth signed with the Browns, Jerron Manning signed with the Falcons, and Albert Reese signed with the Panthers. So I need to text our Panthers fan, who's also a State fan, and see if he's excited to have Albert Reese on the team. But that was a really cool weekend and some really cool social media content put out by our athletic having to do with all the guys getting drafted or signing deals and moving on to some really cool opportunities. But that was the biggest football update, was the draft, and we'll get more into the draft later. Basketball. A lot of portal movement for men's and women's basketball. TJ Simpkins, a guard from Seton Hall, committed. 6'5", was primarily a bench player at Seton Hall last year. He started just 2 games, but he averaged 25 minutes a game off the bench with almost 50, and then 2 years ago at Elon, averaged almost 15 points a game before averaging 9.7 this year at Seton Hall. So this is his 3rd team in 3 years. Kendall Sanders, a forward from Utah, a couple freshmen. He's the first one, 6'8", averaged over 5 points a game last year, but shot over 40% from 3 on 2.4 attempts per game. So
Like to hear that.
that is huge. I'm really hoping that he can be the kind of guy where when Josh Hubbard just creates so much space and leaves the corner wide open, you swing it, and instead of like a pump fake and then drive to kick it back out, he just shoots it and hits it occasionally. That's kind of the hope. That's the prayer. That's how that works out. The other freshman we got, Thomas Basong. I think that might be how you say it. He's French. Have no idea if that's how you say it, but from Florida State. Apparently a kid we recruited out of high school. 6 points per game last season. Started 17 games for Florida State as a freshman.
I put on the tape of him. As by that I mean someone posted a 2-minute highlight reel on Twitter, and I watched. So
That's
I don't
research
actually know
right
how
there.
good he's going to be, but I will say he moved really well and looked way more comfortable putting the ball on the floor than any of our current forwards did. Like even just in transition, Euros, Pinoy steps, like all that kind of stuff, and just looked way more comfortable attacking the basket, and that started because he's way more comfortable with his dribble and his live dribble, and so that's a pretty good sign. Like maybe you can actually get a little bit of like athletic juice out of your bigger forwards, unlike a chore.
Yeah, and I saw someone tweet, they were like, "Oh, big commit for State. This is a guy with like real NBA upside." Now I do believe it was a burner that tweeted that, so do with that what you will.
I mean,
Depends on which
I'll
burner.
shut down the NBA upside, just because I've not heard of him, and I feel like, you just never know. He could,
Yeah.
but he does. He moved way better than anyone else did at that position for State last year.
Yeah.
So that's a positive.
Women's basketball got some big commits. Another really cool story, Dudy Lockett, that is her name, from Starkville High School. Spent the last year or two at a JUCO, averaged 12.7 points per game last year. So that's the second really big Mississippi kid to come back to school here, come back to Mississippi State. A non-Mississippi student, Ariana Francisco de Oliveira, is how I'm going to potentially
Close
say her
enough.
name.
Close
Yeah,
enough.
Gulf State Community College, or Gulf Coast State College, excuse me. She was one of the top JUCO players in the country last year. She's 6'4", averaged over 18 points per game, and shot over 30% from 3. So to do that as a 6'4" women's basketball player, shooting 30% from 3, that's a pretty high clip because 6'4" is typically going to be like your forward, potentially even like a post player.
I did Harris. I did say R in reference to MSU.
You did, yeah. Because
sometimes I do.
Yeah, he slips up. And then the last one, Aris McToon from LaSalle. Average double-digit points per game all 3 years, including career-high 15 points per game last season, and also averaged 3 steals a game last year, which was 13th nationally. And that's the women's basketball. And now for the big one, baseball, which I've got about 2 pages of notes on because it was a wild weekend. I'll start it off with we went 4-0 in the week. We are now ranked number 15 in D1 baseball, and currently are projected to be the number 6 national seed, according to Pair Bracketology, which I don't know what the reputable bracketology sources are, because, like, basketball, you've got Charlie Cream, and you've got...
Does that, like... Sorry, finish what you were going to say, and then I'll ask my question.
You got the bracketology people, and I don't know who the person is for baseball, so I kind of trust Pair because he's got a lot of analytics and a lot of data that he uses.
Is that predictive or based just on current resume?
Both.
Interesting.
He has us at 6 right now, and also predictive would also be 6.
I'm just kind of surprised y'all are at 6, I guess. But
I was also surprised.
Because predictive, I think it makes a lot of sense. The team looks like it's bounced back really well. I'm not complaining. Hosting a super regional would be sick.
Yeah.
But that did catch me a little bit off guard.
That also surprised me. I was texting one of my friends about the weekend, and he was like, "This is really cool. Like, we've got a really good chance at hosting being a national seed." And I was like, "Wait, really?" Like, I've kind of been out of touch with that, so I was pretty surprised to hear that as well. But that's
It may all come down to that.
Potentially where
we
we
are.
are.
Station, man.
It might come down to that.
A lot of people have them as 5 right now.
Imagine that series, like the winner is a national seed, the loser is not. That'd be kind of electric. It finishes 8-9, so we have to play each other again.
That'd be crazy.
Imagine A&M came here for a super regional, and you had to
I'd be terrified a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, you missed out. There's a good reason to be terrified, and I'll get to that later. Because Dudy Noble is just insane. It's different.
I saw clips. I saw clips of y'all trying
It's not the same.
Pull out a ball 5.
Yeah, we've been doing. Yeah,
Everyone does that.
Everybody does that.
Mm-hmm.
You're a freaking A&M fan over here trying to.
We did it first.
Copyright.
We do it best.
Did not do it first, but you may do it best. But I would. It's difficult to say that you did it first, given that it's been around probably since since baseball existed.
Everyone attributes it to us. Is all I'm gonna say.
Friday night, LSU. What a game! LSU jumped out to their first 3-0 lead of the weekend. Tomas Valinkas struggled the most we've seen this season. Only goes 3 2/3 innings with 7 runs, 3 of which were earned. Defensive struggles kind of plagued us as there were 2 innings where they scored 3 runs, and we had an error in both of those innings to kind of keep them going and give them some unneeded assistance. Blake Beavis was awesome. Goes 2 for 3 with a home run. Finishes the day with 3 RBIs. But what really kept us in the game was consistent run scoring. So the majority of LSU's runs really came in those 2 innings, but we, on the other hand, go 6 of the 9 innings, 6 of the first 9 innings, we scored a run in. So we were just kind of scoring 1 or 2 runs every inning, hanging in it. And then the pitching staff really showed up. They only gave up 1 run from the 5th inning to the 11th inning. So over that 6-inning stretch, only 1 run allowed was really huge. And then in the 9th inning, LSU gave us a miracle. Did you see this? Because this was, in my opinion, one of the highlights of the game. It's a grounder it's a leadoff walk for Vitas Valencias, and then Reed Stallman grounds into what should have been double play, grounds to the second baseman, flips it to Stephen Milam.
I did see this.
And then Milam doesn't drag his foot long enough and, comes off the bag, catches it, throws it to first. They called him out at both first and second. We challenged both. And then the way the umpire did it was, terrifying because he came up, he was like, after further review, the runner at first is out. The runner at second is safe.
See, the way he did it, I knew immediately that the runner at second was going to be safe. Because the way he, set it up and paused and, the intonation and, I think that's the right word, of his voice was just, and the cadence was okay, he's about to hit us with the however.
But he didn't even say however. He just said the runner at second. And so for me,
correct.
I was I can just hear him saying the runner at second is out. Just the exact same way he said the first one. He didn't. The runner at second was safe. It was one of many plays from the weekend that if you overturn that play by a few inches, we lose. There's another one of those in that game that I'm going to get to in a few minutes. It's actually this one. So Ryder Woodson later on, I guess that same inning. So the runner who's on second, Ryder Woodson singles, and we score on, I would call, it was a single. So he didn't reach on an error, but we then score on, I would argue, an error. Milam doesn't keep the ball in front of him. It gets past him into left field, and our pinch runner scores from second base. Whereas if Milam keeps that ball in front of him, we now have runners first and third, and then Bryce Chance comes out and grounds out, and the game is, we end up losing that game. But instead, the ball gets past Milam into left field, and we score from second and tie the game up. And then in the 10th inning, top of the 10th, James Nunnally makes, like I said, there's a lot of plays that if it's a few inches difference, we lose. James Nunnally, bases loaded, 2 outs. It was really a line drive to left field. You saw this one too?
Yeah, I was actually watching this part of the game. So.
I would call it a line drive. I mean, that thing did not have a lot of height on it, and James Nunnally comes streaking in, dives, catches it, call it a gym grab, or, I mean...
Web gym?
Web gym. Jim grabs the Brawl Stars game mode.
Yeah, there's
a web gym. But it was a really, really awesome play. I mean, it was electric.
Fantastic
and then
catch.
It was absolutely...
From a guy that isn't one of the big names.
Not. He started the season as our leadoff hitter and kind of got benched and has been the guy that we will usually pinch hit a guy and then pinch field him.
Yeah.
So we'll put a guy in to take the at bat, and then we'll put Nunnally in the field.
Which not only that's how you earn the right to keep being the guy that gets put in the field as the
absolutely, and he's only
fielder.
a sophomore, so the more good things we see from him is really exciting for next year and long term because he's still really young. That was the top of the 10th, bottom of the 11th. This is where it was absolutely insane. Bottom of the 11th, we've got Bryce Chance on first base. Kevin Maluski comes up. Maluski, who currently has 11 hits, or I think 14 hits. I think it's a typo. I have 11, but I believe it's 14 hits. 8 of those hits are home runs. So 8 of his 14 total hits are home runs. He's hitting 182. And then he gets, I think it was like a breaking ball that just like sat there, and he just smokes it to left field and walks it off. It's our first walk-off home run in Dudy Noble Field since May 18th, 2023 versus Jack. Texas A&M. Amani Larry hit a walk-off home run versus, I wrote the name down just to see if you remember, Will Johnston.
Yeah, of course.
Is that a prideful yeah, of course, or like a meme?
No, I enjoyed Will Johnston. He was kind of your classic good, not great reliever, but like in college, having even just good relievers is like a fantastic commodity.
Yeah.
Instead of trotting out, this guy has an 8 ERA. Can he please get us 3 outs?
Yeah. So Amani Larry hit that walk-off home run, and the thing I tweeted today, which was really crazy, is Bryce Chance was standing on the lone base runner and the go-ahead run in both at-bats for both guys. So he's standing on first base for the Amani Larry home run, and he's a redshirt freshman who was not fielding. He pinch hit for somebody. Pinch hit for Slade Alford, Georgia baseball legend Slade Alford. Pinch hit for Slade Alford, works a walk, and then he's standing on base, and then Friday night gets a leadoff single, potentially.
I believe so, yeah.
I think it was a leadoff single, and then we go 2 straight outs, and then Kevin Maluski hits the walk-off home run. That was the end of game 1. It was emotional. It was intense. I told someone, I think either that night or the next day, that it felt like in a playoff atmosphere. It felt like elimination. It felt like we had to win that game, the way the fans were in it, the way the players were in it. It's the most intense baseball I can remember watching in Dudy Noble Field. I guess as a student, so since 2020, I guess I didn't go to a lot of games in 2021. So it's the most intense I can remember since 2021. I forget how long I've been in school / graduated. Game 2 on Saturday, we go down 3-0 for the second straight game. And unlike Friday, it was not consistent runs that kept us in the game. It was one inning that accounted for over half of our runs. It was the 7th inning where we scored 5 runs out of our total 9. This is where it got really, Dudy Noble got actually, the word I used to describe it was feral. I mean, it felt like if there were not, it felt ridiculous. It felt feral. It felt like they were about to come out off over the walls. It just was so loud in there. 7th inning, LSU brings in a fresh pitcher to face the top of the order, Garrick Fry, and we immediately 3-2 single, and then Ace Reese down 0-2 also singles. So the pitcher gets us, 2 strikes on both batters. We get two singles. They bring in their second pitcher of the inning, and then Noah Sullivan singles. And then the walk started. A 4-pitch walk to Blake Beavis, and then they bring in their third pitcher. And every time, and this is where I give a lot of credit to the people that I work with in fan experience, the talent that it takes to know when to do certain things to keep the crowd engaged. The people that I work for have it. And so videos, hype videos, specific songs, your generic not Sandstorm. We didn't play that one specifically, but pretty Bulldog Rattle, or I believe that's his name, Bulldog Rattle, or just Rattle. Just things like that to keep the fans engaged. I mean, it was insane. And at one point, I heard one of my bosses say over the headset, and he kind of manifested it. He was a seer. He said, "We have to keep this going. These LSU pitchers are young, and they're not ready for this." And that was the first pitching change. And he was so right. They bring in that third pitcher, like I said, after the 4-pitch walk to Beavis, and Jacob Parker gets up 2-0 in the count, and then just rips a grand slam into right field, and that's the loudest crowd pop I've heard in Dudy Noble. Immediately after, LSU brings in their 4th pitcher and proceeds to get the next 2 batters out, but the 5 run in the 7th changed the momentum. It changed the impact. It was impactful. It tied the game. It was absolutely ridiculous. Jack Bauer comes in and kind of rolls with that momentum we have, immediately goes 3 up, 3 down in the 8th.
Performance of the season so far for him, would you say?
I really feel like people who have been saying that, I remember his Georgia performance being very, very good. But this performance was also I think they're both up there. This one, I guess, has a better feeling because we won that game.
Yeah.
But the Georgia game, he came in and kept us in that game. Goes 3 up, 3 down, gets his 6th and 7th strikeout. Not to mean, but his 6th and 7th strikeout of the game. And then the bottom of the 8th, Reed Stallman, leadoff pinch hit double. And then, so he pinch hits. He's kind of fallen out of the order because Blake Beavis has been one of the hottest hitters we have. But he comes in, hits the double and the leadoff. And then Sully, who's also been a little cold, gets his 2nd hit of the day. And then a fielding error, and we went up. Let's see, I can't remember in my notes specifically what the fielding error is, but it was the one on the third base. So it's the guy working down, I believe, the third base line on maybe a little bunt, and he just misplays it. And Bauer comes back out, strikes out another guy, gives up a solo home run to Omar Cerna, who, I can say this because we won. Shout out to that freshman. I'm low-key terrified of him. He's a freshman, and I believe he went 8 for 14 on the weekend with 3 home runs.
O'Connell will pull him out of the portal next year.
Yeah,
so don't worry about it.
Maybe he was absolutely insane against us. He had 2 home runs coming into the series and finished the series with 5. So he had a breakout weekend, I imagine. I mean, maybe LSU fans would disagree. Maybe it wasn't a breakout weekend, but he was ridiculous all weekend long. Bauer finished the game with 3.2 innings pitched, or 3 2/3, 1 earned run, 8 strikes, no walks, and only 1 wild pitch, which for a guy with that kind of velo, controlling the pitches has got to be a little bit harder. So to have that kind of control with no walks and only 1 wild pitch is pretty impressive. Pretty happy with that. And then Maddox Webb comes out and closes out the game in just 3 batters. He gets 2 of the next 3 guys. So we won the series, which was really awesome because LSU baseball historically has played really well in Starkville, and we haven't played our best. I can't remember all the stats. I think the sweep, it was the first sweep since 1985. And it was really, I don't think we won last time they were here. I believe they swept us actually 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the programs were in very different
True.
places.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ago, so
Sunday, new game, same story. State goes down 3-0. And at this point, should we just start walking, the first 3 runs in every game just to get down 3-0 and then go from there?
I guess if you're going by that method, yes, because even if they end up scoring more runs, it may not matter. But theoretically, if you're walking in 3 runs, it means the bases are still loaded.
So we walk the first 3 and then balk them in.
Yes, that's the bet. Because that way you don't end up, now there's no outs and it's 3-0 and the bases are still loaded.
Yeah, we'll just walk the bases loaded and then balk them all in, go down 3-0. and then we can get out of it from there, as we did all weekend long, which was ridiculous. In the second inning, we bounced back 3-run home run from Ace Reese, who homered in every game, to go toe-to-toe with Omar Cerna. Charlie Foster only goes 2 innings before being substituted for Chris Billingsley, who gave up a 2-run home run but finished out the inning. In the 6th, LSU scored their last runs of the game to go up 8-5. And then State responded in the 6th with 4 runs. We faced, yet again, 4 LSU pitchers. We had 2 doubles that inning, and we made it through the entirety of the lineup. So every guy had an at-bat, which is, great. It's really very satisfying when you see someone come up and you're like, oh, we saw him earlier this inning. It's one of my favorite things as a baseball fan.
Yep. When
my team is hitting and the bats are that hot that you're like, this guy again. We've already seen him. And then 2 more runs, each in the 7th and 8th, and we took the series. It was the Sunday game. It was just the weirdest weekend of very slow baseball. The first game went to extra innings, so it was long. But then the other 2 games were like 4 and then 4.5 hours.
Well, they don't have the numbers, but the amount of pitching changes LSU made was just obscene.
And if they weren't making changes, they were just visiting.
Yep.
They made so many visits and so many changes.
Jay Johnson spent as much time out on the mound as he did in the dugout. So
he also runs so funny. He jumps while he runs. He jumps from leg to leg. I noticed that watching him. I was
that's kind of fly, honestly.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know if it's because he's short. Maybe that's how he runs, and I don't know. Anyway, that was odd to see. Biggest takeaways: Ace Reese, absolute smoke show of a weekend. 3 home runs, 1 in every game. Noah Sullivan goes 7 for 16 with 2 doubles. Blake Beavis continues to be the shot in the arm for this offense. 2 for 3 with a home run on Friday. Ryder Woodson got benched for Drew Wires on Sunday. Wires goes 0 for 2. Woodson pinch hits, goes 0 for 1. So the shortstop offense is just a little lacking right now, but I trust Oak to figure that out and get the best out of the guys, because he kind of did that this weekend. From guys who'd been cold coming into the weekend, played really, really well. And then the bullpen was kind of, I feel like, the story of the weekend. The starters, who traditionally have been kind of like what keeps us in games, is starters going 6 innings, 7 innings, with 1 run allowed. Only go 3 2/3 on Friday, 4 2/3 on Saturday, and then 2 innings on Sunday. So not long showings. Gave up some runs early in every game, but the bullpen comes in and pitches, I believe it was 16 2/3 innings. It was hard for me to do the math, I'm not going to lie, because I have it 0.2. But
ridiculous work by the bullpen,
yeah,
regardless.
A lot of pitches thrown, and across Friday and Saturday only gave up 2 earned runs in all those innings pitched. And then they had 5 on Sunday across 7 innings. But
that's a Sunday game for
you.
you.
The Sunday game was a little bit higher scoring for both sides.
How? Go ahead.
But yeah, ridiculous work from the bullpen to keep us in that Friday and Saturday game, and then do what needed to be done on Sunday.
How concerned long term are you about the rotation? Are you just chalking up? Because I just feel like Valinkas
was just due for. He'd been pitching.
Yeah, but I feel like his past couple weekends haven't been as elite in terms of length gone in games and whatnot. I'm not fully tapped in, but I mean. They weren't bad, but he was legitimate shutdown ace level material to start the season. He's maybe not that these past couple weeks. I just feel like McPherson is just. Have we had an update?
He threw.
Okay, that's good. Because his UCLA is apparently pristine.
His UCLA.
His UCLA. Yeah, his UCL is apparently pristine, but we've not seen him. So if he comes back, that totally changes the equation.
Yeah, I saw a Robbie Falk tweet, I believe, saying that. McPherson had thrown maybe in warm-ups, so he is still on the mend. No timeline on when exactly he will return.
Gotcha.
But my thought is that he comes back and it just really settles the rotation back down.
Yeah, I just was almost getting close to operating on the assumption that he maybe just wasn't going to come back because there's been such radio silence. Because just at this point, Charlie Foster, Duke Stone. Just you can't really expect tons from him, tons from them. And if those are 2 or 3 weekend guys, it's not really too surprising for them to consistently put you in holes in games. Now, the offense has been so elite this past weekend that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I was just curious. But if McPherson comes back, then once again, the outlook completely flips. So.
Yeah. McPherson, I hope/expect will be back this season.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. And then also, like I said, the way the bullpen showed up was something that I feel like we hadn't really seen from them, especially to see a guy like Jack Bauer step up in that kind of way was really cool. And it's perfect timing because we're about to be in that time of the year where you have to have more than 3 starters and a couple closers, like because you play for the SEC tournament, you play 3-4 games back to back to back, and then you get into the postseason and you've got to play double elimination and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday. It gets really challenging to balance all that. So I think it's perfect timing to have these guys kind of showing up now, and hopefully we get McPherson back in time for that as well. Anything on baseball? I mean, JP, I know you said you went to a little bit of the Saturday game.
Yeah, I think this weekend was a showing that just doesn't feel like Mississippi State. And I would say this year's team doesn't feel like Mississippi State athletics in terms of our ability to come from behind late. We have been just phenomenal all season, regardless of the run count that we're down. We have made numerous comebacks, and that just doesn't feel like something that we do as a program in any sport here at State. So that it's been really refreshing to see with the amount of comeback wins, especially even if you just had just this weekend and you didn't have the other comeback wins and tying the game in the 9th inning like we've done so many times this year, it's going to build so much confidence, I think, for the postseason that regardless of what deficit we end up getting in, we know we're good enough to lead some kind of comeback, and we're not going to give up or anything like that. So
yeah, I think I have a Texan yapping out there somewhere that's like, you can't keep this lineup down for 9 innings, which is very true. Well said, JP. Now, you could for those 2 weeks, but those weeks are behind us, so is what it is.
And hopefully not in front of us again.
This is true. The only other thing I wanted to say just real quick, LOL LSU. I mean, this is a historic bad stretch for them in terms of SEC play. I mean, 9 straight SEC losses breaks a record for them. If you watch any of the Jay Johnson post-game interviews or just interviews in general, it's a very defeated man. And props to him has taken a kind of ownership for the issues with the team, while at the same time basically saying this team is a team that can't win, which is pretty damning for your head coach to say. I mean, they're really the defending national champs. They're a baseball powerhouse, so I'm getting my punches in while I can. I'm kicking them while they're down.
I mean, y'all swept them
but
too.
It's pretty good to see. Exactly. They've lost 6 in a row SEC games to maroon and white schools. That just really can't feel all that good.
A couple other weird tidbits. We had an attendance record on Saturday, 3rd highest ever. Also the 3rd highest in Mississippi State history.
I'm shocked it was the 3rd highest.
Yeah, it just felt so...
We walked in at the national anthem, we walked in the right field gate, and we attempted to walk to home plate, and we couldn't.
Yeah.
We literally couldn't.
I had to get from...
So we had to walk all the way around because we were trying to get to left field.
Yeah.
We thought, the quickest way is go through the cover and not have the sun right in our eyes the whole time.
I was trying to get from the first base gate up and out to right field for a dance performance I had to video, and I physically had to stand there. It took me 4 or 5 minutes to walk 30 yards.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Other tidbit, State has now played one and only one rubber match on a Sunday, and it was the first weekend of SEC play.
Yep.
Every other game, we either swept or have been swept.
It's been pretty divisive series.
Decisive?
Decisive. They've been undivisive. They've been very decisive series overall. Yep.
Softball, the other sport that played this weekend, also had a really great weekend, also playing LSU. They went 2-1, beat them Friday and Saturday, which was really cool. I got the opportunity to go help with one of the presentations because one of our players is getting drafted into the AUSL, Athletes Unlimited Softball League. Yep. And that is just so cool. I was kind of sitting there thinking about it, it didn't, she was, crying, which, anyway, it was a very special month for her, and I was it's not a high profile, it's not like the NFL, which is a very high profile, a lot of money in it.
Not yet.
But, and then I was thinking about it, I was but also she's one of 19 girls, I think, that gets drafted, I think is what the presenter said, Whereas you look at the Major League Baseball, it's 10 rounds, 30 teams, 300 players. Is it 10 rounds or 20?
10.
10 rounds. So you look at that. There's 300 players drafted. NFL, it's 100 and something players drafted. For this, it's like 15, 20 girls who are getting drafted. And so to be a part of that and to be selected for that was very, very cool. And I was also like, it gave me a lot of appreciation for this person, this athlete has worked 18, 20 years for this opportunity, and like they're getting to do something that only 15 to 20 other girls in the country get to do. Very, very cool.
I think it was 16.
16?
Because the video I saw, it was like, this is our 16th and final golden ticket.
That makes more sense. I heard 19th, but I definitely just misheard. 16th makes a lot more sense. I don't know why you'd have 19 teams or 8 teams in a league.
I think it's 8 teams and each got 2. Yeah, so she said 16th and final golden ticket.
Yep. Very, very fun to work that. Just our second ever series win versus LSU, which was crazy. Still have never swept them. Was hoping we were going to get that on Sunday. We did not. And right now, according to pair ratings, softball metrics, we are just outside of hosting a regional. We're the 2 seed, and I believe the Florida State's 11 seed regional.
Gotcha.
So
still time to fix that.
I think we've got maybe 2 more weekends because I think baseball has 3.
Yeah, I think if you probably won the last 2 series, you would potentially be in a spot to do so.
Yep.
What is the softball team's Sunday record? It feels like it's not very good.
It's not good at all.
Because I feel like y'all consistently, it's the opposite of the baseball team, where it's like another rubber match, and you just can't win the rubber match.
We are, I believe, 1-4 or 1-5 in rubber matches.
Gotcha.
We lost a rubber match to top 10 Arkansas, lost a rubber match to top 10 Florida, lost a rubber match to top 10 Tennessee.
A&M maybe?
No, y'all swept us.
Oh.
Lost a rubber match to basically everyone we've played. The only rubber match we've won was versus South Carolina.
Yeah.
And South Carolina I don't even think is ranked anymore.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's not – rubber match has not been good, has not been kind to us this season. And we've been in a lot of them. We've beat some really good teams once, but we cannot beat them twice. And then men's and women's tennis. Men's tennis selection show is at 3 o'clock. They are hosting. They had a fantastic season and will continue that season in the postseason. I don't think the women's tennis made the postseason, which I don't. I just didn't. I don't know the how the selection process for that works, so I had no idea if that was a clear and obvious or if it was going to be close. But given the selection selection was an hour ago, selection show was an hour ago, I think it is safe to say they will not be in the postseason. So that's your Mississippi State update.
Good stuff.
It was a crazy weekend, and now baseball goes to Texas, and I do not know where softball goes. Actually, baseball Tuesday plays Ole Miss in Jackson, my hometown. They'll play down there, which hopefully we can win that game. And then hopefully it rains next Tuesday as we play Nichols, who's like 100-something in RPI.
Yeah, that's just, 100th isn't horrible.
I think it's 100th. It might be lower. It's not high.
It's one of those stupid things where it's like, this will hurt your RPI regardless of outcome of the game.
It will not rain next week.
That's unfortunate. Maybe it'll be so hot. They say
so far,
due to
we're
heat.
a week ahead.
Yeah, due to heat, we can't play.
Due to
this.
heat, it's at risk.
Oh,
It's
a
going to be
sprinkler
a
broke
high
on
of
the field. And
76
The
degrees.
field is too wet to play on now.
Yeah.
High of 76 degrees.
Cool.
Nichols bus, their tires got slashed. We don't know
Yeah.
how, but they couldn't pull out this morning, so they're
There could be a storm in Louisiana on the way over. So
that's good. That's good.
definitely
All the
possible.
bridges collapsed between Louisiana
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
the Mississippi River.
Fair. Good stuff. That was fun to listen to. It was a really cool weekend.